Sabrina here with another TBR video. Yes, I am wearing the same cape as my Sherlockathon one. This is Believathon 3, The Mystery of the Missing Maleficarium. I think that's how you pronounce that word. But anyway, it's all about mysteries this month. So there we go. This is a readathon that is now in its third term. That is created by Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. And this runs for the entire month of November. So you've got plenty of time to plan your TBRs for this one. I'm just getting myself terribly organised because if you've watched my Sherlockathon TBR, you will know that Sherlockathon runs into the first 2 weeks of Believathon 3. So I'm having to get a little organised and make sure I know what I'm doing and when I'm doing and what I'm doing it for. So there we go. I was going to try and be smart and sort of double up some of my books for both readathons, but guess what? I've managed to match up one book and it's the skinniest book of the whole lot. Go figure! Anyway, I'll leave links to Gavin's announcement video down below so you can find out all the things about Believathon. There is also a Discord channel, so I'll leave a link to that as well, so you can go and find out what on earth we're all going on about, because we love middle grade. Believathon 3 has 13 prompts. So theoretically that's 13 different books, which is what I'm going to aim for here on this reading challenge. What am I doing to myself? Sympathy, please? Nah. There we go. Right, so the first challenge is a mystery book, which will give us the clue for the key. Yeah, each prompt has a clue. So I've chosen the Adventure on Trains series. This is book 1, The Highland Falcon Thief. These are written by M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman. So there we go. This is book 1. As the title suggests, there is a mystery on a train. This happens to be set in Scotland as well, which could have been a prompt for one of my Sherlockathons. Never mind. There we go. I've been eyeing this up since it came out. I've really wanted to read it. I haven't managed to get my hands on a copy of it, so I picked it up especially last Friday. For the Fingerprints clue, you need to read a book that is by an author from a different culture than your own. So I've gone for The Beast Player by Nahoko Ihunsai. Please, I'm sorry if that's butchered. I have had this on my shelf for, yeah, some time now. I must have got it out when it first came out because that's not the cover you see around anymore. But I really want to read this book. This was going to be one of the prompts for Sherlockathon. I was going to do this as my tome because this is over 500 pages. And then I changed my mind for something else. So I'm now just reading this for Believathon, but I'm really excited to read this. For the clue of the scream, it is either to read a book aloud or listen to an audiobook. So I've got a couple, if they still work. So I've got Charmed Life. This is by Dinah Wynne Jones, the first book in the Crested Mantis series. And I've also got The Dark Portal by Robin Jarvis, the first book in the Deptford Mice series. I've had these, as you can see, they're on cassette. I've had these for years. These are like 30 years old. They've got to be now, easy. They're both read by Tom Baker. They are both abridged, but I have read both books fully. So yeah, I'm hoping these will still play on my big old cassette player downstairs. Fingers crossed they don't chew them. For the torn page clue, you need to read a book with a supernatural element. So I'm finally picking up Nevermore, The Trials of Morgana Crow by Jessica Townsend. I've had this since I possibly flew out to America. I picked it up in the airport, so that's how long I've had this book. And I will hopefully be reading it in November for the first time, which means I can then read the rest of the series, which I hear has fantastic things. For Spilled Ink, you need to read a book that features ghosts. So I've swiped my son's copy of Amelia Fang and the Barbaric Ball by Laura Ellen Anderson. The butler apparently is a ghost. I did check with him to say, is the ghost in it? He said yes. The last book in the Amelia Fang series comes out next week, which I've already said to him I will be buying. He loves these so much, he's actually loosening the pages from his book. Now that one's going to need another fix. So yeah, he absolutely adores these books. They're quick, they're easy, they're illustrated, so I should whiz through that quite quickly. For the prompt of The Crown, that is an alternative world. I'm going to finally read Dodger by Terry Pratchett. I might get a paperback copy of this from the library because this is quite big to be going in my bag. But this is an alternative Dickensian London. And we follow Dodger. as in the Artful Dodgers. For the Dagger clue, it's on dangerous setting, so I'm reading The Afterward by E.K. Johnson. Again, I've had this on my shelf for a little while now. I had to do a special order because I couldn't get it from anywhere other than Blackwell's or Amazon. So obviously I ordered it from Blackwell's, and I just haven't got around to reading it during lockdown, which is really annoying. But yeah, this is set after the battles have been won, but things aren't as finished as our heroes think they are. For the backpack clue, this is a author that is new to you. So whether that's a brand new debut author or an author you just haven't got around to reading. So linking up with my Sherlockathon, this is Enola Holmes, The Case of the Missing Marquez by Nancy Springer. And I have just seen the film. This is in first person, so it fitted my Sherlockathon prompt. And I'm going to do it for a new author because I haven't read anything by Nancy Springer before. I've only heard of her because of the hoo-ha that the Doyle Estates kicked up about Enola Holmes. So I'm supporting her by buying the book. For the Footprints clue, that is a book with a prominent villain. So I've got Orphans of the Tide by Strawnon Murray. This I've been meaning to read since the beginning of the year. It was one of those books that came into the work library, and it's like, I need to read that and make sure, you know, what it's about and everything. I've heard good things about it, I just haven't got around to reading it. Again, it was one of those I was supposed to read during lockdown, it just didn't happen. So, in a world where we have a villain known as the Enemy, I think this qualifies for that prompt. For the hand mirror clue, this is a book with a beautiful cover. So obviously, this is going to be wild and varied because everybody's opinions on what makes a beautiful cover is very different. But I've gone for The Land of Stories. This is book 1, The Wishing Spell, written by Chris Koffler. Yes, from Glee, that person. Yeah, I didn't know that either when I picked these up, but I thought this was quite a pretty cover, particularly as this book has already moved twice on the reading prompt list, because I do want to read it quite badly. I brought the 6-box set from the works rather cheaply, and I want to read it. So I've kept this under beautiful cover for now. It might change because, well, you'll see in a minute. But yeah, for the chain clue, that is a book with a colourful cast of characters. I've gone for Pages and Co. This is Tilly and the Book Wanderers by Anna James, book 1 in the series. And apparently there's quite a colourful cast of characters in here. So it's one of those that has been on my radar for quite some time. It's about book lovers, it's about books. You know, I should be reading this quite massively, and I just haven't got around to it. So now's the perfect opportunity. So the next two prompts I actually haven't got a copy of yet. I'm going to have to order these. But if I have trouble getting them, it will mean some of this end of the TBR will be jiggled about a bit. So for the Flash of Lightning clue, the prompt is a book that incorporates folk tales. Now, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I've been trying to read my own voices, authors, and I did realise that a lot of my middle grade selections here are very Western European. So I have decided to plump for Ghost Squad, picture up here for you, thank you husband, which is based on Dominican folklore, I believe it's that one, and involves ghosts and family and friendships. So that's that book. I'm quite excited about this book. It's got a very lovely cover, but I'm going to have to order it from Amazon because Waterstones just doesn't have it and Blackwell's can't get it in stock. A little frustrating there. And the final prompt is for the Shadow Clue, and the prompt is a book that was published this year, so 2020, the year that never happened, but we had some fantastic books published. And I've decided to go for Maya and the Rising Dark by, I think it's Renee Barron, I think. But again, picture up here, and if it's the wrong author, I am sorry. This comes out next week in the UK. And once again is Unknown Voices, but it's the same author who wrote The Kingdom of Souls, which I really enjoyed. So I'm really excited to give her middle grade a go and see what it's all about. I also have a huge list of middle grade books that I want to buy, whether for me or for the work library, which I've noted down after my list. I'm not going to share those with you. You can go and watch Gavin's forthcoming releases for middle grade videos because they are really up to date and he knows what he's talking about a lot better than I do. So as I say, my TBRs tend not to be fixed in stone, so there might be some jiggling around with this running up to the Believathon. Obviously it's a whole month away still yet, and there might be some jiggling around during the readathon when I sit there and go, I'm never going to get around to reading all these books. I need to pick something a bit smaller or different, or no, I can't get that book. It might change a little bit, but I'll keep you posted. If you're doing Believathon 3 readathon, leave a link down below to your blogs and vlogs for your TBR lists. That would be lovely to see what everybody else is reading, and, you know, really help me change my mind on some books, because I'm really bad like that. As I said, I will leave the links to Gavin's announcement video and the Discord channel down below, so you can get all the information and other people's TBRs and thoughts and recommendations as well. In the description box you'll also find all my social media links. You can find me on Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram, and my book blogs down there as well, where there are more ramblings from me. As usual, there is also a link to several booktubers in the description box, which I'd like you to go and check out, because the YouTube algorithm and the Instagram algorithm are pretty rubbish. So let's try and support each other and spread word of other channels out there. As always, thank you very much for watching, and happy reading. Be well.